Vermithor. Vermithor, called the Bronze Fury, is one of the dragons that belongs to House Targaryen. He was once the mount of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Vermithor was the mount of the old king, Jaehaerys the Conciliator. After his passing, he dwelled in the Dragonmont. By the time of the Dance of the Dragons 29 years later, Vermithor is the second largest and second oldest dragon in Westeros, after Vhagar. His mate is Silverwing, the dragon of Jaehaerys' queen Alysanne. House of the Dragon, Season 1. In an effort to find more dragons to gain advantage over the Greens and their dragons, Daemon Targaryen visits Vermithor in his lair, singing Haros Bartasai to get his attention. Vermithor blasts fire above him, but he calms as he and Daemon stare into each other's eyes. Vermithor was apparently named by George R.R. Martin after Vermithrax Purgative, the dragon in the film Dragon's Lair, which he has cited as one of his favorite movies. Additionally, D.B. Weiss used the name Vermithrax for a different dragon. In the books, Vermithor was famously the mount of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen, the old king whose great and prosperous reign lasted 55 years. Jaehaerys I's sister wife Queen Alysanne Targaryen was also a dragon rider, and her mount was Silverwing. It has been speculated that there is some sort of magical/psychic or at least emotional bond between dragons and their riders, so that they like friends of their rider and scorn their enemies. In this case, Vermithor and Silverwing were actually a mated pair, mirroring the marriage between their two riders, and continue to remain so even after their original riders died. They oft coiled about each other in the fields, when their armies weren't on the move during the dance. Their matings may have produced some of the younger dragons at the time of the dance. At one point Jaehaerys I rode Vermithor on a royal visit to Winterfell, along with Queen Alysanne riding Silverwing, and 4 other as yet unidentified dragons. On a whim, Alysanne rode further up to the wall itself, and Jaehaerys I followed on Vermithor. The novels never give the lineage of any of the Targaryen dragons, though it is fairly clear that Vermithor was one of the powerful second-generation dragons hatched after the Targaryen conquest. Vermithor was nearly 100 years old during the dance, putting his hatching somewhere around the years when Aegon I died. Live readings that George R.R. Martin has done of his more extensive private notes mention that towards the end of Aegon I's life, there were about half a dozen dragon hatchlings. When Aegon I died, several localized rebellions sprang up against his weak older son Aenys Targaryen, but Maegor helped put them down riding Valyrian. Following this, 2 new dragons hatched at the same time, which was taken as a good omen for relations between the 2 brothers in the future, which turned out to be false. These 2 hatchlings may have been Vermithor and Silverwing. Given how they were always a pair, Vermithor ultimately grew larger than the previous half-dozen, such as Dreamfire, but this may just be up to individual variation. This also matches the dates given. If Vermithor was one of the earlier half-dozen dragons, he would have been slightly over 100 years old during the dance. In A Feast for Crows, Sam muses that Alysanne visited Castle Black on her dragon, and Jaehaerys came after her on his own, without mentioning the second dragon's name. This is the only reference to Vermithor in the A Song of Ice and Fire novels. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.